Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is April 20th and this is my weekly shop update. At least I think it's April 20th. Yep, it's April 20th. Happy Monday to everyone. This is Monday right now. In the past, it's always going to be the past no matter what time you watch this or what day you watch this. I don't know why I'm talking about that, but anyway, happy Monday to everybody. Hope your week is off to a great start. I am excited. As you can see here, that is the lowercase of the secretary desk. Pretty much all ready to go, all ready to get to finish, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So first off, I'd like to say thank you to Sarah and Charlie over at Savannah Farms. They sent me a piece of pecan tree, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I have it here. I sealed up the ends, so it should last for a little while. It's really, really heavy. I'm not really sure if it's just that wet or if it's just naturally that dense, but it looks really cool. I like the color is nice. So you might see this in a project in the near future if I can come up with something to make with it. We'll see. So if you didn't already see, I posted the video about the making of the doors for the uppercase of the secretary last Friday night, and that was probably my most favorite video I've ever made, just because I was able to take you through the entire process. And the interesting thing about that video is that as I started making it, I realized like how involved those doors really were to make. I didn't really give it much thought. Like as I sat down to edit it, I'm like, oh, this would probably be like, I don't know, like a 15-minute video, a little longer, but it ended up being 25. But as I was going into it, I'm like, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I didn't really feel like it was a good idea to be cutting stuff out of it because I knew so many people had so many questions about how a lot of those processes went, and especially with the grain and the lumber selection. That was really something I really wanted to focus on with that video, and I liked it. It's definitely my favorite video I've ever made. So if you haven't checked that out already, check it out. It's a good one. At least I think so. I liked it a lot. So this week I had the fortunate privilege of finding a really great find on Craigslist. I was able to find some walnut slabs for, I'm going to say they're pretty much basically free. They were $50 a piece, and there were two of them that were 19 inches wide, 6 feet long, and a little over 4 inches thick. Then the third one was 13 inches wide and 9 feet long and a little over 4 inches thick as well. Those are some big slabs. I think they probably weighed as much as I do. Each individual one probably weighs as much as I do. They were really, really heavy. I saw that posting and I responded right away, and I ran out there that same day to pick them up because I knew something like that wasn't going to last very long. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be using those for. I might use them as part of the crib build or the cradle or the bassinet build. I'm not really sure yet. I don't have a whole lot of thicker walnut on hand, so I'll probably end up using some of that, just resawing some of it and using it that way. Not resawing it into like boards, probably resawing into like 8/4 or something like that. So that is going to come in really handy, and yeah, they're heavy, really heavy. So I thought I would give a little bit of an update on my wood flooring project. So this past weekend, Lindsay and I we were up there and we removed the underlayment, all that particle board, and that stuff was pretty weak. It just broke right apart. All I had to do was just grab it and lift it up off the floor, and it would just snap. And those nails that were holding it in they didn't have a lot of hold on them, because if you were to get a nail with the head up enough where you can actually grab it with the pry bar, those nails just pop right out. So really just kind of demonstrates to me how weak particle board is. If those nails don't have much holding power and you're able to break those sheets in like really small pieces, it's not very structural. So I don't know why anything's ever made out of it. As a underlayment, it makes sense because it's not really under any stress, it's not structural. But if you're actually making like, I don't know, something's going to be under any kind of stress, like a piece of furniture, that stuff obviously is not going to last very long. Any kind of stress on that stuff is just going to turn to mush and fall apart. But the funny thing about doing your own projects and getting into things around your own home is you think it's going to be a simple project, and then as you get into it, it becomes more and more of a thing. So that's progressing quite a bit for me. So as I mentioned a few weeks ago, it was progressing in that the subfloor the underlayment was damaged, so that had to come up. And now I'm also realizing that the floor is nowhere near flat or level. So the area above me is the screen porch, and then right about here is where the room actually starts. And then there's a support beam that runs across the whole room here, and then the joists are running this way. So everything from the support beam, basically where you are, all the way back to that wall, is nice and level and flat. But then as you get past this beam here, the floor just does this. Whoop. So I'm not really sure what the cause of that is yet. I haven't really looked around to see maybe the joists are sagging, or maybe the wall behind me, which is a load-bearing foundational wall, maybe sunk and took that whole side of the house down. Probably at least, well, it's probably at least 3 inches down by the time it's out there. So it's down quite a bit. It's in the actual room, it's down about 2 inches at the most. That's in that far corner, and then it tapers down and gets less and less as you get to that side of the room. So that's going to be an interesting other little thing I got to deal with, is getting that floor to be a little more flat so that the wood flooring isn't all wonky, because that'll be really noticeable with the wood flooring. It's easier to mask with carpet. I knew that there was a little bit of an issue there before I pulled the carpet up, because you kind of feel it as you're walking, but I didn't realize it was as bad as it really was. So be another thing to deal with. Another fun little project. All right, so last week I didn't spend as much time on the desk as I had hoped, because I spent, to be honest, I spent Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the entire days editing that door video, and then I spent the weekend doing the floor. So I didn't set foot in the shop for like the last 5 days. So today, this afternoon, I spent about probably like 3.5, 4 hours out here working on the whatchamacallit, the drawers in the gallery. So I came out here and I was working on getting them all finalized. I got the profiles on the outsides finalized, and then I got them all finished, sanded, and fit into the openings and operating correctly. So that is what I did today. Now, I am going to spend tomorrow, I've kind of scheduled my life to be, well, I've scheduled myself to be out here all day tomorrow doing all the finish prep on the rest of the desk. So everything needs to be sanded. I got to do a little adjustments here on like these things, the loopers. I got to fix those up a little bit. I have to attach these fronts still, and a lot of sanding. So I have like probably 6 hours of sanding and finish prepping to do on the entire piece before it's ready for finish. So tomorrow I'm hoping that it'll be in finish and getting all its first coat of finish on there. So that's really exciting. This bench, this desk was on my old workbench when I first started it. So it's pretty crazy to me to have this thing over here again on my new bench, because it started on my old one. So that just kind of tells you how long this thing has been going on for. But I'm really excited to get it out of here and be done with it. And it's really, as I look at it now, it's just an amazing piece, and I'm really proud of what I've been able to do with this thing. I know everything's not perfect with it, but it's been a very great learning experience for me. And if anything, it's just more of a challenge. It was more of a challenge to myself to be able to take on such a large project. Oh, and the other thing I have to do is make the backboards. I'll do that tomorrow as well. But as I said, I'll be spending the entire day tomorrow out here in the shop. At least that's my plan right now, and we'll see how that goes. So the last thing I want to mention before I get out of here is a new episode of the Matt and Matthew Show will be out tomorrow, Tuesday. We had a special guest, Todd Clippinger, a really amazing guy. He is a professional. He's doing this full time. He does a lot of amazing stuff, and he is in a lot of magazines as well. It's been published a few times. So it's really cool to be able to talk to him, because I've been like following his work for all these years, and then you finally get to talk to him, and he's a really funny and charismatic and awesome guy to talk to. So check that out. That'll be out tomorrow. If you're not already subscribed, I'll leave a link in the description. You can head over there and subscribe, so they'll be in your subscription box in the morning. Oh, that was a good one. We had a fun time with that. So that's all I have for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I appreciate those. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, happy woodworking.